thank you for being here. This is Module B, Research to Practice at the Decentralization 2021 conference. I am pleased to welcome all of you, and especially Dean Carissa Slotterback, who is the Dean of the Graduate School of Public and International Affairs, or GISPIA, the host of this year's conference. And Dean Slotterback comes from a long background of engaged research in urban affairs and does a lot of developing strategic initiatives to advance interdisciplinary and engaged research. So take it away. Thank you for being here.
Great. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks for letting me into the conference and the chance to share a bit of comments for this research to practice session. So as Sarah said, I'm the dean here at the Graduate School of Public and International Affairs at the University of Pittsburgh, and also a professor. On behalf of Pitt and on behalf of GISPIA, I'm really pleased to share an official welcome to this really great conference. We're super excited to be able to host, and I heard this morning that this is the 50th anniversary of this conference, which is a really big deal. And I'm just very, very thrilled that we have a chance to be able to host and be able to meet so many of you, at least virtually. I'll start by just saying thanks for being here, for your expertise, for your commitment to applying knowledge in service to making other people's lives better. I can think of no better way to spend a career in academia, as I've had the privilege to do, or in practice, than doing this kind of work. And I offer a special welcome to students as well who are here. I hope you and all will take away new insights, but also inspiration from the speakers that you hear and the other attendees that you'll have a chance to be able to connect with. So as Sarah said, I'm an academic trained in urban planning, and I have had a focus on public engagement and decision-making around urban and environmental issues. And I'll share in just my brief comments the importance of this work and ways to ensure that it is even more relevant and connected to vulnerable populations and the communities that we hope to serve. While we use different theories, different methods, different data, I think we're all working toward the same end of deepening our understanding of complex systems, and most importantly, I think the interactions of these systems with human behavior and human perception. What all of this evidence leads us to, I think, is an enhanced ability to design systems, design processes, and create tools that serve communities and people. People, not just units of analysis or data points, which I think it's easy to get caught up in that as we're looking at big data sets and trying to understand incredibly complex situations and ideas. But these are communities and people who are humans just like us, who are navigating challenging circumstances and wanting to grow, to be happy, to be safe, and to be cared for in the world. In my few remaining minutes, I want to talk about three quick perspectives that I offer to help potentially animate conversations about the research that you'll hear today in this Research to Practice module. First, I ask you to think about how compassion motivates you and how it motivates your work. My urban planning friends and colleagues, Ward Lyles and Stacy White from the University of Kansas, and their colleague Brooke Lavelle from Coalition for Care in San Francisco, have written extensively in my field about emotions and compassion in urban planning research and practice. They describe compassion as the awareness of the suffering of others, accompanied by, importantly, a desire to take action to alleviate suffering. Importantly, they position compassion as an ethical orientation for researchers and practitioners in planning that they say we have to have in order to truly do this work well and to do this work legitimately. While you might assume that compassion introduces bias, maybe it removes objectivity, what they do in some of their work is offer, I think, really compelling arguments that marrying the rational and the cognitive with compassion and emotions actually allows us to more meaningfully and more rigorously, importantly, engage with issues of power and social justice, which I think are driving a lot of the work that we do today. Second, I want to ask you to reflect on the how of the research that you do. I think as academics, we're taught to be informed by the literature and understand science as an accumulation of knowledge through empirical study. I don't know how many times I've commented in article reviews saying, what's the gap in the literature or the knowledge that you're trying to fill? It's a really important question. And in addition, this question has to be coupled with intention among researchers to reflect on whether and why this research is actually needed. Being in communities and with the communities you're studying is essential. I have a former colleague from the University of Minnesota, Kathy Quick, and her colleague Guillermo Narvaez, who've worked extensively in Native American reservation communities on transportation issues. They have these simple statements that are just so elegant and so profound that really call into question the ways that we've done this kind of research in the past. They have a recent report that says, the paucity of American Indian scholars and community voices in prior research about reservation roadway safety issues is an ethical, empirical, and methodological problem. Think of the significance of saying that essentially this is bad research because we didn't engage the community. This is calling into question methods that we assume are legitimate or have for many, many years, and saying, if we're not doing this kind of engaged research, this is ineffective, inappropriate, poorly conducted research. They also noted that they're collaborators, and that's a really key term to use here. And those collaborators coming from that community, thinking about that, the significance of that language as well, their collaborators guided them to develop better interview questions and to interpret data about the context and the complex relationships of causality of the high roadway crash rate that they were studying, constraints on exchanging and interpreting data, and the needs for developing and deploying effective management policies. They couldn't have done this research, and they couldn't have done it as well if they didn't have those collaborators and deep relationships, trust, and insight with the community. This last statement ties into the third point that I want to make, and that's just ensuring that we're intentional about what we do with our research. How and with whom do we share it? Sharing with our colleagues in forums like this and publishing peer-reviewed articles is so crucial to advancing our knowledge. We have to do this. There's tremendous value in these learning opportunities and these academic networks, especially when they're interdisciplinary, in continuing to grow and to evolve our theory, our data, and our methods. And we also know that taking our work to those impacted by it or responsible for implementing it after the research is done really misses an incredible opportunity. It risks missing the point and probably misses the need. Doing this kind of work in this way requires everything that we can bring to the table. Importantly, you're not alone in doing this work. I encourage you to build robust teams that allow you to bring your best knowledge and skills and relationships to the table, along with other experts in engagement, in process and systems design, in communication, and along with those interested or experienced in dissemination and implementation. My own interdisciplinary collaborations as a scholar and engaged research have been some of the most challenging, stimulating, and impactful of my academic and professional career. I wish everyone this kind of satisfaction, growth, learning, and impact. Thanks a lot for being here. I'm super excited to be able to share these comments and to hear what's coming next. So we're really proud to host this conference at GISBIA. My deep congratulations and deep gratitude to Sarah Lenardi and the amazing team, too many to name, from Cassie, our Center for Analytical Approaches to Social Innovation, for all the great work in organizing and hosting. I look forward to hearing from all of you later today. Thanks.